Hey folks, it's your main man E from Fall to the Leader Canine. I'm here with Bean, and I wanted to talk about place command. I have a slip lead on Bean, I have a treat pouch here, but the thing I want to talk about right now is this tie back. Okay, oftentimes we see people working on a stay command or go to your bed command, and they really want the dog to be like the dogs are here, right? Where mostly on their own, they just kind of rest all day, they relax all day. They're not digging, they're not barking, they're not wandering up to my neighbor's dogs over there that bark all the time. I love them dearly. But they do bark all the time, and the dogs here, they're not even caring about that. They're so calm. Now, people think sometimes when they show up here, hey, the dog's been running around all day crazy. They actually haven't. Although they've been playing, a lot of what we've done is a tremendous amount of place command or duration work, as we might call it. And what that does is teaches the dog to settle around distractions. Now, one of the most important things for your place command, other than a nice solid bed that's raised up and big and comfortable for the dog, is a tie back. And so you can see I have this leash looped around this pole here. So I want to just talk about first some of the things to look for when you're setting up a tie back. Okay, the first thing is you want the leash to be long enough that the dog can get up and turn around and lay down, but you don't want the leash to be so long that the dog is constantly getting off their bed and then you have to go over there and get them back on their bed. The big reason we're using the tie back is so we can have the dog and ourselves be pretty sure that when we put them in a bed, they're going to stay there for as long as they need to. Now, to start with, this might be 5 minutes, but eventually we should be able to send a dog there for the length of a dinner party or a movie. And the dog lays there for an hour or 2 hours, maybe more, and just relaxes and knows this is how they get to be included. They've got their nice bed, and this is how they get to do their job, just relaxing and chilling. Now, if you do this at first during dinner and when friends are over, believe it or not, eventually your dog will naturally just be more calm around these things because they're used to practicing calmness around these things. Now, here you can see Beanie's actually seeing a crow that's trying to drink some of the water here, and her natural kind of observant, protective instinct is taking over. But because she's tied up in a bed, I don't even need to say anything to her. I could just walk away. And rather than risk her associating doing that behavior with me standing by her, talking, touching, looking at her, perhaps making her think that I'm somehow involved in this hunting crow task that she's involved in, I just distance myself from her and I walk away. And you could see she just naturally calmed down. Okay, so one of the benefits obviously is that the dog learns to stay there for a long time, but the other benefit is when the dog is stressed or overwhelmed or afraid, we can move ourselves away from the dog and in a sense kind of explain to the dog, hey, look, I'm not involved in that. That's you having a hard time or you getting anxious or getting fearful. I'm over here. I'm calm. I don't want you to think that we are somehow connected here. Okay? And just by the dog getting up, and when the leash tightens, it's attached to an inanimate object, and they don't feel me struggling and pulling on the leash, that creates a different chance for them to experience things in a new way and to get up and go, oh, leash is tight, I'm tied up, I got to lay back down. Versus if they get up and we're there and we start pulling on the leash, they might go, man, why are they pulling? Are they nervous? Maybe they're worried about something. Oh, man, don't worry, mom. Don't worry, dad. I can handle this. No. So the best thing is you send them to their place, and this leash is long enough that they can get up, they can look around, but they can't get off their bed. And in a sense, we're setting them up for success. Okay. Now, in this particular case, we'll show you how we're going to sprinkle food on the ground. No. Place. No. Place. Good. And in this way, I can tell her no, and I don't even have to pull on the leash. She starts learning, oh man, if this guy says no, it's not even possible. Now, as we talked about in place command number 1 and place command number 2, we always want to be strategic in using food with place command, in that the goal is to eventually not need food with place command. And so although I'm happy to use food, especially if the dog's stressed or anxious or fearful, if they're just hanging out like this, I don't even really want to use food. If anything, at the end of the exercise, I will release her and I'll let her get the food that I sprinkled on the ground as a distraction. In a sense, I'm explaining to her, hey, I know you want to say hi to people. I know you want to say hi to dogs. I know you want to have freedom in the house. The way to get access to all these things is being extremely calm. And the calmer you are, the sooner you will get those things that you want. Now, you can see here her hips. You can't really tell from the camera angle, but I'm going to show you because I think it's a pretty important lesson to see. Okay, so the way her hips are positioned are very clearly positioned in a way where she wants to pounce up. Okay, and I say that because her feet are directly underneath her torso. And what I would rather have her do is lay to the side. No. No. Place. Good. Now you notice I didn't say place until she had moved into that position. If I just started saying place a bunch, I think she might think that she's going, hey, I am doing place. So I was clear. No. She moved into that position. Good girl. Good. Now you can see she's anticipating food, but in a sense I'm testing her here to say, hey, look, if I don't give you food, no. Place, are you just going to get up and get that food? Because I don't want to have to always be giving you food forever. I mean, I'd love to just say, hey, go to your bed, you settle. And hey, if I want to release you at the end of the dinner party and you want to vacuum the floor, look for crumbs or whatever, no problem. Or maybe when a couple guests have gone home and there's one who you're really fond of, yeah, go over to them, say hi, make friends. Good girl, good. And so you can see, like, in contrast to the last video where I had to keep using the slip lead to put the dog back into the command, this time I didn't have to use the slip lead at all. Though I do want to show you how I would use that slip lead to get her back into the command. If she breaks the command, which I don't think she's going to do right now. Good girl. Good girl, Bean. Good. Good. And so that's all, folks. A demonstration of how you tie the dog back. Oh, here we go. Perfect. No. I grab my leash. I pull this way. No. Now, depending on where the dog is in the training phase, no. We can either shorten the leash or make it longer. No. In this case, I'm challenging her, and I want her to get off the bed so I can tell her to get back on the bed. If this was too challenging for her or myself, I might make the leash so short she can't even get off the bed. But for this video, I want to show you how, nope, I use the leash, I pull up, I pull down, place. And once again, you can see the position of the hips are saying to me, I'm not going to stay here, I'm about to get up. And watch when I walk away. She's very aware that somebody might be managing her behavior. And so I purposefully am even going to walk away, and I'm not looking at her. I'm going to walk away. Okay, I'm looking over here, pretending like I'm looking for something over here. But we watch her with our peripheral vision, and we could see, oh, she's still going to stay here. Good. Good girl, Bean. Now, as much as a big part of me wants to give her food here, I want her to understand, Bean, this is not a begging from a bed command. This is a turning your brain off, relaxing, patiently, and not anticipating anything, actually. So do you see the way her face has changed now and she's more relaxed? You see the way her leg is out there to the side? Good girl. Good. I unclipped this, but she's not released yet. No. And look how she positioned herself. So she's not even facing the food anymore. She's going, you know what? Trying to get that food, not a good idea. Break. And I let her have the food. So that's all, folks. Just a little video talking about place command and how do we use a back tie to set the dog up for success, as well as a slip lead and some food to reinforce and remind them what they're supposed to do. Okay? Now I'm going to pull her away because I don't want her getting too much food. Good girl. Sit. Remember, as always, folks, we don't blame them. We train them. And if you got a dog like Bean, well, you got a lucky dog because her parents take really good care of her. Sit. Which is why we're making this video for them to help her and them master this idea of place command in the home. Okay, until next time, folks, we'll see you then.